somebody else's. And we do have a new schedule of events, if you will. I think it should be posted anytime now about our call, since the company has actually given us the Wednesday plus the Saturday call now. We want to be sure, and what I always like to say is play team, not only with your team, but with the company, because as we grow, as the company grows, we all grow, especially if you're in those pools. It's not just a statement, it's actually compensation, so that's the exciting thing that we have right now. So we are going to do a Tuesday training. And this is going to be a time that you always want to pencil in. We're probably going to keep this 30 to 40 minutes, based upon the topics. And we're going to start posting these topics each and every week, so that way that you can really set your schedule and set your time. Now, I didn't prepare any slides tonight for a specific reason, not because I'm lazy, but because I believe that the things that you see and hear, then the things that you see, hear, and write are going to burn in your brain. So what I want to ask you to do is that anytime you're here, 90% of winning is showing up. Make no mistake. So you're already here. So put yourself in a quiet place. The great thing about this business, that it is a home-based business, and sometimes the bad thing about this business is that it's a home-based business. We all have kids, wife, and a life, and animals and things going on in the background. So you want to make sure that you're just able to give 100% of your attention with 100% of the time that you're able to put in to your Uforia business. That's very critical. And I would definitely recommend, step number one tonight is set your calendar, get that 5 to 7 hours a week, and make sure that you're dedicating those hours. And I'm a big person on basics because I failed so long, kind of like being a locomotive in a swamp. I was working full-time on my job and part-time on my fortune, as Jim Rohn says, but I was coming home and sometimes I'd be tired, and it was kind of, okay, I have enough energy to do it this time, or something came up, or I have a ball game. So I wasn't scheduling my life, right? I was trying to wrap my business around my life instead of my life around the business. And it does make a dramatic difference when you think about what you're doing, because folks, make no mistake, working a job and then coming home and working your business is no easy task. That's why you're already a winner. Everybody on this line tonight is already a winner because you've made the conscious business decision to make a change for you and your family. Now, I can promise you that this isn't rocket science, but there is a science to it. Let me say that again. I can promise you this isn't rocket science, but make no mistake, there is a science to what we do. And in my 26 years of experience, and, I've just made more mistakes than most, and I'm very stubborn, but I really do like to simplify things and bring it down to what we can do on a daily basis. And the most important thing is learning, and this is the topic for tonight's training. And when you come to these events, when you come to these trainings and even the opportunity calls, not only do you want to put yourself in a quiet place, but bring a pen and a piece of paper. Or if you're a person that likes to type on the computer, I don't care how you take notes. If you use hieroglyphics, that's fantastic. But you've got to have a system. Make sure you're taking notes, because these are the nuggets that, from the two Robs that we have on the front end of this line, to myself, to John, and all the great leaders that we have that are going to be giving you these tidbits. You want to write them down. Nothing becomes power until you write it down. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I'm not Sigmund Freud, but here's what I can tell you. It absolutely works. When I sold out to the system, started journaling, started taking notes when I went to the events, taking notes on every conference call, it started making a big difference. So be sure you always bring a pen and a piece of paper, take those notes, put a date on it, and most importantly, that's just treating it like a business, and that's very, very important. So what I want you to write down first is the topic of tonight: how to promote from event to event. How to promote from event to event. Because folks, make no mistake, events are the most important thing in your business. How to promote from event to event. Now, taking notes, there's a small, medium, and large event. Just like ordering ice cream or a drink. Small, medium, and large. And nowadays we have biggie size, right? We'll call that our national event. But there's small, medium, and large. What a small event is something just like this. It means it's easy to get to. You can dial in from your car. You can dial in from the football field. You can dial in from work if you're on break, or you can dial in from work when you're not supposed to, like I used to. But the thing about it is, a small event is easy to be able to connect with and also invite people to. That's very important to understand. Now, your medium event is probably a live event. Maybe it's, what we call the swap parties, right? It might be a party at your home or someone else's home, or a smaller local event. It's not very difficult to get to. Maybe it's 30 or 40 minutes, from your house. A large event is obviously our national events, right? And then let's call the biggie size our main convention that we have every year. So what you want to do is learn to scale that. And here's the key to success: stay plugged in to as many events as you possibly can, and don't be by yourself. Stay plugged in to as many events as you can, small, medium, large, and biggie size. Stay plugged in as many events as you can, and never be by yourself. And teach your people to do the same. Okay, folks, that's the conclusion of our training tonight. Just kidding. But honestly, if we learn to master these little things, because I get paralysis from analysis. I overanalyzed my entire life, because I just wanted to be able to guide and figure everything out. And then all of a sudden, again, I was like a locomotive in a swamp. I was doing a whole lot. You could see the smoke, but I wasn't going anywhere. So I just sold out to the system after literally 17 years of failure. The last 10 years, I've made 5 times more money in the last 10 years than I did the first 17. And it's just because I had to step back and say, you know what? Let's just try it their way. I call it the hairy hog. For all you Days of Thunder fans out there, the hairy hog. Run 50 laps your way, and then run 50 laps my way, and I promise you, we will win, because it's just what works. And promoting from event to event is one of the critical things that you want to understand. Then you want to break down what is an event: small, medium, large, and biggie size. Stay plugged into as many events as humanly possible, and don't be by yourself. So that is actually kind of the infrastructure of promoting from events to events. Now, there's a psychology, there's a philosophical side and a tactical side. Philosophically and tactical. Philosophically, the reason why you want to stay plugged in is because you got to keep this plugged in. Negative in, negative out. Positive in, positive out. When you stay plugged in, there used to be an old saying: if you don't have any guests, the meeting needs you. If you don't have any guests, you need the meeting. And if you have guests, the meeting needs you. So these are our Zooms now. So what you really want to understand about what we're doing is that these events are critical to your business from a psychological perspective and a philosophical perspective, because you're going to start to learn the philosophies of why you're doing this and how it works. The tactical side of it is completely different. So you really start with your mental mindset, your why, which is the psychology and philosophical side. And staying plugged in is the key thing. If you have a bad day at work and you're just upset and everything else, if you don't have a guest, plug in anyway, because you're going to need to feel the energy and excitement. Maybe you're going to learn something new or hear another testimonial that's going to give you that spark that you needed to be able to get up, make those contacts, and continue to build your team. Because, folks, if this was easy, everybody would do it, and it wouldn't pay very much. Here's the good news. Very few people do it, and it pays a bunch. Because all we're looking for is for a bunch to do a little, and that's the magic of network marketing. So when you think about these events, really just put yourself in this category. So we understand the psychology side, the philosophical side of why you're going to build your belief, right? Write that word belief. Staying plugged in and promoting from event to event will build your internal belief system, which is basically what I call your shield. Belief is nothing more than a shield, which makes you bulletproof. No matter what they fire at you, no matter how much negativity, you know what you know what you know. Period. End of story. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. I believe in what I'm doing. I may not be able to answer that question, but I promise you I can find the answer. Hold on while I three-way my upline. So you learn your belief system is so high that there is no negativity that can penetrate your belief shield, if you will. And that's why it's so important to stay plugged in to each event that you can. Don't miss, don't miss, don't miss, as Jim Rohn says, and make sure you're not by yourself. And that's the key, as your mindset is building your belief. Now, for the tactical side of things, when we go to tactics, right? I said this wasn't rocket science, but there is a science to what we do. Meaning, there's two categories, and I don't think this training is out there anywhere. This is me personally. I've never laid it out and never sold it, never will. I want to give it away for free to you, and you've heard me say it before. I believe there's two things, and only two things, that if you become the best, you become a master. What? They call me the swab ninja. Why? Because I like to have fun. I really do, because this business is fun. And that's the way I look at it. You got to become a mental ninja, right? That's what you got to do. But there's 2 categories. Write this down. Master of invitation. That's number 1. Master of invitation. That's category number 1. Right beside it, you can write professional promoter. You want to become a master of invitation and a professional promoter. And here's the thing. There are really good people that can invite, and there's, well, let's say beginners that are learning to invite. And there is promoters, and then there's professional promoters, and you get better over time. I got better by staying plugged in, listening to other people and taking those little nuggets, because if something impacts you, which is what we call that aha moment, right? You're on a call and you hear somebody say something, you're like, wow, that was good. Guess what? Write it down. Make it yours. That's the power of duplication, and it's so critical to stay plugged in. And this is where the 3-way call comes in. We're doing these Zooms and everything else, but I want to challenge everybody. We've talked about the grand opening Zooms. We should still be hammering our calendar. This is the tactic side. Hammering our calendars with grand opening Zooms, grand opening Zooms. These are the private Zooms that you can do with your people, and it's just like an in-home party. That's how we blew up our previous company, with 5 to 7 people in a living room. They had to get off work. They had to maybe find a babysitter or bring the kids. God forbid they had to bring the kids. We've all been there, right? Johnny, sit down. But then also they had to come to their house. They sat there for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and you promised them 30 minutes, but you were still building a business. Folks, all we've got to do now is get them in front of incredible presenters and influencers like Rob and Rob. That's all you've got to do. How easy is it to get somebody in front of their computer or on their phones, for crying out loud? They can do it from the car. So when it comes to inviting, what I want you to understand is that there's a process that we call sorting versus selling. Sorting versus selling. You're going to sort. Now, what are you going to sell? So there's sorting and selling, right? You sort just like there's 4 aces in every deck. There's 4 aces in every deck, no matter how many times you shuffle, work out the cards. Here's the reality. You got to keep flipping the cards no matter what. So that's your sorting process. Now, there is some selling that needs to be done, but all you are selling is the invitation. And this is basically a breakdown of a training that I done 2 or 3 weeks ago. But these are the most important things, because these are the things that you're going to do on a daily basis, and you're going to want your people to learn to do the same. That's the power of duplication and exponential, opening up and unlocking the compensation plan. That is the true magic of what we're doing. So you become a master of invitation. So you are selling the invitation. Now, to become a master of invitation, you really want to think about the person that you're calling, right? My dad used to call them prayer notes, and we'd sit down and bullet point, because everybody's different, and your network better than we do. And when you write your network down, you want to know, are they a teacher? Are they a pastor? They a police officer? They political officer in office, whatever it is, business owner, who's the most famous athlete that you know. So you categorize this list, and when you're inviting, you're obviously going to form your invitation. You're going to profile, if you will, the invitation towards the specific person. There is no magic script. There is no anything. You want to be natural, and just like you're opening up a business, just like if it was a franchise restaurant, you're going to call everybody. But everybody on this line knows beyond a shadow of a doubt, if you opened up a restaurant and asked people to come down and try your food, they eventually will. Oh gosh, that grand opening is not in my schedule right then. But hey, what do you got going on next week? Yeah, come on down. We'll be there next week. Hopefully we're still in business, right? So they will come down and try your food. So you got to flip the switch in your mind, because all you're asking everyone to do is just to look, right? And you don't have to be a silver-tongued sales devil. You don't have to learn any of these things. You just got to learn to understand what you're selling. You're selling the invitation, and I don't take no for an answer, period, right? I'm saying, hey, I've got a grand opening coming up next Thursday. It's starting at 7:30. It's right from your phone or your computer. It's going to take about 45 minutes or so. And all I want you to do is take a look at it. Tell me what you think. The product may or may not be for you, but I would love some referrals. Is that 7:30 good for you, Bob? No, really. Well, hey, when is your first open day that you can give me 30 or 40 minutes, right? When you can give me 30 or 40 minutes. So wait until they give you a time, and then continue to follow up. continue to follow up, continue to follow up. That is just absolutely critical to what you're doing. So becoming a master of invitation, profile your invitations. Make sure that when you're inviting, you understand what you're inviting for and what the end result, what am I trying to accomplish on this call? You're trying to accomplish to move them just to the next step, just to the next step. Now, everybody has a pen and a piece of paper. I want you to, this old training, I want everybody to draw a baseball diamond, right? Draw a diamond, baseball diamond. Hopefully everybody can see that. Rob was texting me. Am I still in picture here, Rob? We're on a training, so we can chat. We doing good still? Bueller. Check. Hailing Rob. Any Rob?
We hear you. All good.
Okay, so still coming through good. Okay, good deal. But folks, draw your baseball diamond. Okay? Draw your baseball diamond. And obviously, it doesn't matter which side you like to put first base on, but in one of the corners, put on the right-hand corner, put first base, second base, third base, then home. First base, second base, third base, then home. What is first base? We want to get as many people running the bases as humanly possible. You've probably seen this in a pipeline training or a funnel training. I like the baseball diamond. I have for 20-some years because I think it just makes sense. What is first base? First base is your invitation to watch something, right? You're inviting them to your grand opening. You know, you send them a few videos, everything else. You know, so that is the introduction. So first base is the tools, is the system, right? That you're using, that you're sending. This is the invitation. Second base is your three-way follow-up, right? Three-way follow-up. Now, three ways, get with your upline. They'll tell you all about those, how to schedule them and how to posture. And we can do a whole training call on that because there is a wrong way and a right way to do that too. Third base is basically what we would consider a live event, right? Now, since we're going technology, third base used to be the, it would be the live event. And I think those are, I think technology's moved us a different way. So here's the baseball diamond that I believe now. I think third base is your grand opening or a company webinar on Wednesday, right? Because that is our final close. So first base is going to be our videos, right? We have an awesome way to send those videos from our back office. You know, I would send every single person all those snip videos. And here's the cool thing. When you're talking to somebody, you can ask for permission. Say, hey, there's just a handful. Now, notice I didn't say 9. I said a handful. Now, a handful to me is 9. A handful to them might be 3. Hey, leave that open for translation. Is it okay, Rob, if I send you a handful of videos? Here's the thing. They're 45 to 60 seconds long, so it won't take you long. Is that okay? He just gave me permission to send those. You see what I'm saying? I'm not bombarding him. Ask him for permission. And then if you don't want to ask for permission and you think it's somebody that may have a little ego, you know, there are a few people out there like that, ask them for their opinion. Ask them for their help or ask them for their opinion on these videos. Because I think those 9 snip videos, folks, we have some of the best videos I have ever freaking seen. And I am not kidding you. So step 1 is the tools. Step 2 is follow-up. Now, if they're inquisitive and have questions, then do a 3-way. If you're moving them to the next base, which is the grand opening, that's fine. And then home plate is signing up. Home plate is signing up. So a home plate can also be a 3-way with your upline. So let me give you like a perfect example. I invite Rob by, hey, Rob, listen, I just started this brand new business. Here's all I need you to do. Is it okay if I send you a couple videos that are, 45 to 60 seconds long? It may or may not be for you, but if you know anybody it is, I just want you to check this out for me. Is that okay? Great. I'm going to start texting him videos, right? Then I'm going to set a follow-up. I'm going to call him. Did you get a chance to watch those videos? No, I didn't. You got time right now? Sure, I'll watch them right now. Great. I'll call you back in 20 minutes. Calling back in 20 minutes. Well, listen, I'm having this grand opening. Boom, here's the date. Will you show up? I tell him about the grand opening. He says yes. He shows up to the grand opening. And then after the grand opening, I know he was on there. So I'm going to call him more than likely with my upline on the line to do a 3-way call. Because the more people that you have running the bases, now here's the key. Some people might not show up, but you're going to know that. And here's the thing. If they say that they were going to show up and they don't, guess what? They owe you one now. And you're allowed to ask him for that. Say, listen, man, you're going to be there. And I know things come up, but now you owe me one, right? These are your friends. You know what I'm saying? These are your friends that you're talking to, your friends and family. You know, and here's the thing you got to reiterate. I'm only asking you to look at this. You don't have to bring your checkbook or your credit card. Here's what I'm telling you. It's my job to make sure that you know what I know. Because 5 years from now, I don't want you mad at me saying, why didn't you tell me about this? That's the key, because I feel it's my responsibility or obligation to share this information with you, and here's why. And I think this probably goes to everybody on the line. You know me, and you know that I've done this more than once, right? McCabe, nod. They'll shake yes with you, right? Well, guess what? I'm doing it again. This has no competition. We're the only ones doing what we're doing. Do you know what that means? That's what I thought. That's why I want you to watch. See, there's a few things that we have. There's no me too. So that creates urgency. There's nobody doing what we're doing. We have no competition in corporate America or network marketing. None, as in like zero, right? Nobody. So we have the competitive edge. That's why I want you to look, because if you were ever going to do it, this would be it. And all you got to do is give me 45 minutes to an hour of your time. So that is the invitation process. Now, the follow-up invite. There's a lot of people that truly say they're going to show up and something happens. You know, little Johnny falls and cuts his lip or something, you know, jumping on the bed. My daughter jumping on the bed at 3 years old, when I told her to stop before I got to her, she face planted, blacked her front tooth, and it ticked her mom off for about the next 3 years because it was a black tooth in all her pictures. You know, so those things happen, right? You know, so the fun thing about it is to follow up and just, you know, hey, I know you probably missed it, something come up, but follow up, leave voicemails. Be passionately persistent until you piss them off. You need me to say that again? Make them tell you no. See, the maybes are what it is. I've made an original list, every business I've built, and I've never had to leave that list. Now, the list goes from anywhere. The last list was about 137, right? I don't make lists of 25. I don't make lists of 50. We say that to people because a list of 100 scares them for some reason. I don't know why. I made a list of 137 people, and I never had to leave that list, ever, because I continued to work the list, because it is mathematically impossible. If 100 people go through our system, 3 are not going to say yes. It's impossible. Folks, it's impossible. Mathematically, statistically impossible. That's the belief system that you can have, but they must go through the system the correct way, and you become a master of invitation. Now, piggybacking into the next thing, becoming a professional promoter, promoting from event to event. We've all done that. We've all promoted something, whether it's a movie, right? When you talk about a movie to somebody, you're not really inviting them to go with you, but you are promoting the movie. Oh my gosh, you got to go see this movie. You didn't say me and you are going to this movie at this time. That's an invitation. Promoting is just the broad spectrum, right? And you always want to talk about the next event. Close on the present and promote for the future. Write that down. Close on the present and promote for the future. Close on the present and promote for the future. Here's what I mean. We have a webinar coming up Wednesday, right? Now, you know that's the company webinar. And here's how I'm posturing it. And then we have our team webinar on Thursday. So I'm only inviting for the Wednesday like it's the only one available. Hey, John, listen, I wanted to follow up with you. And I know I sent you a couple texts. You watch those videos. Here's something really cool. They got the top leaders from across the country every Wednesday now. And it takes about 45 minutes. So I wanted to invite you to join me on that call. Again, you can do it from your phone in the car in front of your computer. Grab the popcorn, get in your PJs, and sit there. Is Wednesday good for you? Oh, no, Brian, I don't know if I'm going to get out of church. I got choir practice. You know what? We're in luck. We're doing a backup Thursday at 9:30. Same thing. Now, it's our private team. It'll still be a great way to expose the business. Is that one better for you? Sure, I can be there. Great. I'm going to send you a text about 10 minutes before it starts, and make sure you have the link and make sure everything's downloaded, okay? Fantastic. In the meantime, if you want to look up some additional information before you get there, go to this website. Boom, boom, boom. So you close on the present, promote for the future. You always leave yourself a plan B. You ever heard the old phrase, don't ever put all your eggs in what? One basket. So what you want to do is close on the present, promote for the future. And again, you just got people running those bases. Boom, boom, boom. And then when you get like really crazy with it, I would have names and write them down. And I had a big whiteboard, right? And I wrote down all the names, and I would draw that diamond. And if my office now currently didn't turn into a big closet for my wife and my 15-year-old daughter, I'd have a whiteboard behind me, but we're taking care of that. So the fun thing is just when you're in it like that, when you're in it to win it and you're all in and you have a plan and you're doing that and you're learning and you're understanding that you're going to get better, it helps you discipline your disappointment. It helps you discipline your disappointment because, folks, make no mistake, contrary to popular belief, I'm not in a good mood all the time. But I can fake it really good when I need to, right? Because I don't want my bad day or negativity to inflict or harm anybody else's mindset. So I've learned to flip a switch. How do I do that? Stay plugged in. Most people don't know that every morning I get up, I watch a few of our videos, get me all fired up. I listen to the what I call the message from the president on the resources website, all the way at the bottom, that SoundCloud. That's one of the best 15 or 20 minutes in network marketing history. I'll listen to that in my car, when I'm going to my appointment or whatever. I'm preparing my mind. That's the most important thing, to flush everything else out, put all the positive in, and then you're going to become better and get better at the tactical side. But first, you have to have the philosophical, psychological side. Build your belief, build your shield, so that way nothing can penetrate that. No negativity, no question, no nothing. You're going to be here 5 years from now. And you believe in what we're doing. The product is now fulfilling your body. Your energy levels are better. So you know what? You're a rejection specialist at this point, because it doesn't matter, because you got to believe in the math. You got to believe in the math and the system and tell yourself that question. If you put 100 people on that Wednesday call, how many do you think would sign up? I think it's way more than 3. But if you did get 3, you're a huge success in our business, as long as you teach those 3 how to do the exact same thing. And then you learn to teach. So in summary, bringing it down to a close before we turn it back to Rob and Rob. I love that. The Robs, right? That's not like, this is my brother. This is Daryl and my other brother, Daryl. This is brother Rob and my other brother, Rob. We'll start doing that. But anyway, in summary, promote from event to event. Learn to build your belief by staying plugged in. That's the psychological side of what we do. The tactical side of what we do is learning to become a master of invitation and a professional promoter, and know that you're getting better, and get as many people running the bases as humanly possible over and over and over again. And that's where you'll get your exponential potential and the power of multiplication and duplication with a 3x3x3, 3, 9, 27, 81, 246, 746, boom. Now you're at 6 figures. So anyway, Rob and Rob, I hope if we have that recorded, we can get it out. This is just something that I love to reinforce probably 4 to 5 times a year, because number one, we always get new folks, and it's always good to go over the basics. And here's what I know. My coach told me this: we're going to snap the football every practice, no matter what. We're going to snap the football. So that's the way I look at it, because these are the core basic building beliefs that you need to have to continue to move forward and be successful. See, I'm not going to give you a bunch of BS and ain't going to help you build a business and make money. That's not what this is about, right? We are about giving you what you need, the arsenal that works. I didn't make this up. It took me 17 years of stubbornness to figure this out. Hopefully you don't take that long to do it. But guys and gals, for everybody that joined us this evening for our very first Tuesday training for Team Wealth Builders, I thank you so much. And Rob, I'll turn it back over to you if any final thoughts or closing questions.
Final thoughts. Excellent job. Excellent job. Kudos, Bryan. Thanks a lot. And thank you guys for joining us tonight. Hopefully you got a couple nuggets out of that. And hopefully you can do your first base for tomorrow. That's going to be our corporate business opportunity overview. That'll be for tomorrow evening. Great opportunity for everyone right now to be warming up your prospect list, going through your invitations, go through your phone, go through your Facebook contacts, and get them invited for tomorrow. Once you pique their curiosity, once they watch the sizzle video, etc., and they want to see this on a higher level, kind of peel back the onion, so to speak, take a deeper dive or dot the I's and cross the T's. That's what that's for tomorrow. So hopefully we'll see you and your guests for tomorrow night. Rob Carlisle, thank you so much for what you do for us, navigating and the back end. And guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Thanks again, Bryan.